Hello, and welcome to How to Manage Your Interviews on Indeed's hiring platform. We will be covering what to expect when conducting interviews on Indeed, how to test your system, preparation, the job seeker experience, and troubleshooting, followed by a few quick reminders to help guarantee success. We want you to be able to focus on the conversations during your interviews versus the technical elements of our platform. To help make this happen, I am first going to cover how to use the platform. Keep in mind, you can always ask for reference material from your account representative at Indeed. And if all else fails, there is a live chat bot within the platform, which I will show you how to get to as well. First things first, we'll need to test your computer to make sure it has the correct technical capabilities to use our platform. You will receive a link to do so, which looks like this, from your account manager, as well as by email once you sign up to conduct interviews on Indeed. Keep in mind, it's important to use one of our suggested browsers, which you can see listed here, for the interviews to run smoothly. On the days leading up to the interviews, the organizers and interviewers will be receiving daily updates from us. Here you will receive the link to test your network. On the left, you will see a screenshot of the email the organizer will get day of. If you are the organizer, you will be able to click the Check Virtual Lobby button to get started. If you are an interviewer, you will receive the email on the right to begin interviewing. Ultimately, to access the lobby, you will need to find one of these two emails. If you do not have either, please ask the organizer to invite you as an interviewer. Additionally, every employee hosting interviews will need to have their own Indeed account and be using one of our approved browsers. In order for your day of interviewing to begin, the organizer needs to click Start Interviewing on the top of the page. Once you're in the lobby, you will be able to view RSVPs, invite additional interviewers, or personalize your welcome message. Your welcome message is the text the candidate will see when first entering your waiting room. Feel free to call out recruitment videos, your website, and your social media outlets. Now that you've clicked the Start button and crafted your welcome message, you will be entered into the lobby. If there are multiple job titles and locations for your interviews, that will be notated here. You'll notice the status column on the far right, which shows where the candidate is in the interview funnel. Once the candidate is ready to be interviewed, you will hear a ding, which sounds like cookies are ready, but it means that candidates are ready. All you need to do is click Start Interviewing next to their name. This is what the interview room will look like. Very similar to FaceTime or Zoom, you will be able to mute yourself, stop the video, and end the call. You will also be able to select the specific microphone and camera device if you have multiple to choose from. Under the More button on the bottom right, you will additionally have the option to chat with the job seeker. Our phone relay system is intended to be a last resort in the case that candidates are unable to connect or having issues being heard. This feature allows you to reach out to a job seeker directly via phone from the browser and can be found on the top right of the interview window. Once you've completed an interview, you will see two prompts after selecting to end the conversation. The first is essentially the ability for you to put a candidate back into the waiting room if needed. This comes in handy if you're having multiple rounds of interviews or specific recruiters delegated to certain job titles and maybe want to reroute a candidate. If you do select yes, you will be redirected to the lobby and the candidate will be put back in the waiting room in the front of the line. The second prompt will be the ability for you to disposition the candidate with a yes, no, or maybe. This will help track your interview success and will appear in the recap email, which you will receive the next day. Next, you will be brought back into the lobby, where you will be able to see a list of the candidates your team has interviewed. When you select the Summary tab on the top left, this will show you an overview of how you've dispositioned each candidate. Once the interviewing has come to an end, the organizer can simply click the End Interview Session button on the top right of the lobby. This platform was designed for ease of use, but we understand you have other things on your plate. So for additional support, we have two features baked into the lobby intended to help you stay focused on the interview and not get caught up in technical confusion. First, the What's Next link on the top right. This will outline and define the entire page for you. Second is our live chat support function, which can be found on the bottom right-hand corner of the lobby. This will provide access to our Indeed support team, which will be available whenever there is an interview happening for both you and your candidates. Now that you're prepared to host some interviews and make some hires, let's get into what the job seeker experience is like. Indeed has elevated its communication with job seekers and automated some of the ways we keep job seekers engaged leading up to the interview. Candidates receive the link to access the interview in 3 different ways. First, the link was provided to them when they initially RSVP'd via an email confirmation. Additionally, the candidate received a text and email confirmation the day before the interview. Once the job seeker has taken any of these 3 actions, they will be brought to your customized welcome message. When the candidate is ready to interview, they can then click the Get in Line button at the bottom of the page so you know they are ready. Next, we ask the candidate to enter their cell phone information. This is in case there are connectivity issues like unstable Wi-Fi, the candidate freezes, or is dropped from the platform. This feature will allow for us to send them a text when it's officially their turn to interview. Remember, if there is any disconnecting, you will be able to call that candidate back and finish the interview over the phone, or you can use the prompt to put them back in the waiting room, which we spoke about earlier. Now the candidate has been put into your waiting room. Here, candidates will be able to see where they are located in the queue after they've checked in. As an interviewer, you will then see their status change to waiting in interview room, followed by that ding to alert that someone is waiting. You can then click on Start Interview when you are ready. Now that you're ready for the candidates, the system will give them 5 minutes before their interview to join the actual room with you. If for some reason the candidate does not enter within the 5-minute window, the job seeker won't be kicked out, but will be moved to the back of the line in order to be cognizant of others who are waiting. Please note that if someone has been scheduled but never entered the waiting room or was never interviewed, their status will not change within your lobby. Once the candidate joins the interview room, it will look very similar to the feature seen on the employer's side. Just like you, they will have the ability to mute and turn off their camera if needed. Once you are finished interviewing the candidate, you can end the interview and go through the disposition prompts we saw before. At this point, the candidate will be brought to this screen asking them for feedback and calling out the live chat function for support if for some reason the interview was ended in error. Now that we understand how to use the platform, let's talk about how to prepare for your day of interviews and hopefully hires. You will have the ability to review RSVPs during the days leading up to the interviews, as well as in the lobby when you log in day of. If you need to invite interviewers last minute, you can do so here as well. We highly recommend customizing your welcome message. This is a really great way for you to communicate something personal to the candidates who are excited to interview with you. Another tip is to keep an eye on your candidate's status as they are moving through the funnel. You will be seeing their status update on your end. This can help you and your team stay organized and prepared for which interviews are to come. In preparation for your day of interviews, we need to make sure you are set up technically for success. As mentioned in the beginning of this video, testing your technical capabilities prior to the day of the interviews is crucial for success. The link to do so will be provided to you through your account manager once your campaign goes live. Additionally, it will be provided to you through our automated email system. If this test fails, please reach out to your account manager or go to our troubleshooting link that is provided. Now that you've tested your system to make sure it's compatible with Indeed's hiring platform, here are a few other tips on how to troubleshoot during the day of your interviews. At this point, I'm sure there are a couple of questions on your mind, so we wanted to make sure we addressed several that we get often. There is a support team of real humans waiting to help with any issues you may run into during the day of your interviews, so please feel free to use this chatbot feature at any point. In the instance that you accidentally end the interview before you've interviewed all of the candidates that are scheduled, the chatbot will also help correct that. Job seekers have received communications both through email and text message regarding how to join the interview. If for some reason a job seeker mentions they have not received a link, please let your account manager know. Additionally, we want to make it clear that you do not need to download or install any sort of additional software or application to use this platform. Everything lives directly on Indeed, so as long as you have the internet, you are good to go. Please remember that everyone who is interviewing needs to have an Indeed account. Finally, please be sure to fill out our post-interview survey so that we can continue to make changes to help you and job seekers alike. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to your Indeed account manager. If you cannot find your Indeed representative, please call 1-800-462-5842. Indeed is here to help people get jobs, and we're excited to partner with you to make that happen. Thanks for your time. Now let's go get people jobs together.